I don't come close to death quite that often. In fact, I try to actively avoid it. But there was this one time where I did almost die. A YouTube video with dying in the title, which isn't clickbait. I know, it's hard to believe, but it is true. So sit back, relax, and let me tell you a story about how I almost died. It was a day like any other, except for the fact that I woke up at 5 p.m. It was summer vacation, so my sleep schedule wasn't optimal, alright? Anyway, I woke up at 5 p.m. because I had work at 6:30. Now, before I continue, a little bit of context. I had gotten my driver's license about 1 week before this, so I was a very new and inexperienced driver, which meant this was going to be my first time ever driving to work completely alone. What does that sound? Oh shit, no. Which would go great. Another fun bit of context I should give you is that I had to do my driving exam 3 times over. ABFlewBy, how is any of this relevant to the story? It is very relevant to the story, you impatient f***. Maybe if you just started listening instead of complaining, you'd see that yourself. Also, are you cooking meth? No, Don't worry about that. Just get to the fucking point, alright? Yeah, alright, man. Just get out of here, alright? What an asshole. So after dressing myself, I made my way downstairs, skipping breakfast because I didn't have the time, and got in my car. After which, I went on a drive that I would not forget for a very long time. Now, most of this drive went pretty normally. Nothing really out of the ordinary. But then, I neared the dreaded T-junction. Now, this specific T-junction is pretty infamous for causing car crashes, because almost every other week, or even just every week, there are news reports of crashes happening at this T-junction. Why is that, you might ask? Well, it's because no one keeps to the speed limit in this area, and because the vision is very limited when you're at the T-junction. And so, without a second thought, I drove up onto the T-junction. Oh, god damn it. Cut. You can't see my face because of the black bars, alright? Cut the music and the lighting effects, cut it all. Can anyone open my eyes? I mean, this is the wrong PNG, guys. We've gone over this. You know what? Just forget it. I'll just do it myself. Much better. Now, let's rewind the story a little bit, because I feel like that dramatic sequence skipped over a lot of important things. I crashed my car. Not proud of it. What happened is, I drove onto the T-junction without looking left. The result of that is a concrete mixer parked neatly into the driver's side of my car. Not good. Here are the real pictures, and I'll spare you the ones from inside the car because you can see my blood everywhere. Let's play a little game. What would you do if you've just been in a car crash? Is it A, start panicking? Is it B, remain calm and find a way out of the car? Or is it C, sit there and wait to be rescued? You get 5 seconds to decide. Time's up, and the correct answer is D. Turn off your music. Yeah, so for whatever reason, instead of finding a way out of the car like anyone else would, I decided to turn off my music. And after taking the smashed mirror off of my arm and throwing it out of the car, I then decided to finally climb out. And when I got out of the car, I was surprised because there was already a bunch of random people there to check if I was alright, which is actually a very nice thing. Also among those people was the truck driver that hit me. Now, I didn't really talk to the guy, but I did hear one thing. When I saw him, he was just standing there, and when someone asked him what happened, he just said, "I don't know, I didn't see the guy coming." And he was weirdly calm about the entire situation, but, you know, maybe he was just in shock. He did just hit someone fully with his truck. And so after that little situation, a very well-dressed man comes up to me, for which I've used the exact same PNG as I used just a second ago because I'm in a rush while editing this. Now, this man took me to what I can only describe as the whitest conference room ever to wait for the ambulance. And now at this point in time, I was bleeding quite a bit from my arm. And so I bled all over his conference room. I mean, the chairs, the table, tables, the floor, it was all covered in blood. It looked like a murder scene from a horror movie. And so after waiting a while in the now bloodied conference room, the ambulance finally arrived. So they take me to the back of the ambulance and they ask, the standard questions. Did you have anything to drink or any other substances? To which I say no, because I'm an idiot, but I'm not that much of an idiot. When I arrived at the hospital, they laid me down in a little hospital bed, and I say little because my feet literally stuck out over the end. And the guy that was caring for me tells me that I had 2 broken ribs and glass all over my body. Now, I thought this glass was gonna give me some cool looking scar or something, but rather than slicing me, the glass punctured me, which means I wouldn't have a cool looking scar, but just a bunch of random scars around my body. Having been in a car crash, most people, when arriving at the hospital, would call their family. I don't think I need to do another Who Wants to Be a Millionaire quiz section in this video to tell you that I didn't do that. Instead, I sent one video to one of my best friends. Now, before I show you the video, you just have to remember that this is the only thing at this point that I've told anyone about what happened. Yeah, that's it. Great video, I know. Now, after I sent this video, I of course didn't reply to any of the other messages that my friend sent me because I'm a great friend. And so after that, the guy checking on me told me that, I was free to leave, I guess. But then something strange happened. Every single time I stood up, I got really nauseous. Because the entire time, I'd been laying down at an incline angle, and so whenever I stood up, I just felt really nauseous. Despite that, however, I just decided to call an Uber instead of calling my family, which I had tried at this point, but they were out eating, so they didn't pick up, which I didn't really mind at all. And so the Uber took me home, and I walked away from a deadly car crash. I lived to fight another day. And now I also have a really cool story to tell for whenever I need to. The moral of this story is, I think, that if you think you can drive after your driving exam, you probably can't. So watch out, and always look left.